Welcome to RED35. Not many of you know that I am actually a long-term lomographer. So today we are looking at this, the Diana Instant Camera. I want to tell you guys a secret. I actually don't know how to pronounce this camera. I have been calling it Diana, but I've heard people calling it Diana. So I don't know whether it's actually an American saying or it just actually called Diana, not Diana. So please correct me, and if you know the exact pronunciation, please leave the comment down below. And yeah, you can call it the Princess of Wales, I guess, camera. Anyway, so this is the review of this latest instant camera by Lomography. It's a little bit overdue because this thing was introduced last year via the Kickstarter crowdfunding campaign. It was of course successful, otherwise you wouldn't see it here by now. And I must say, this is a very, very impressive camera.
It's another day, I'm back on my feet, so I win again. Roses are so sweet, the scent is all around my head.
For those who don't know about Diana cameras, this is actually their latest member of the family. When I say family, yeah, because the Diana has been going since the 1960s, so it's been a long time. They have a lot of different iterations, different clones dotted around since then, you know. And this is a very, very different camera, however, because all the Diana cameras before this were all film-based cameras. You know, they started off as the 120 medium format cameras, and then they have the 35mm version, and the 120mm can also be used as the 35mm via an adapter at the back, and also they also have the instant mini format as well, so you can actually just change the back and use different format as you wish. But you know, the original Diana was actually a fixed point and shoot camera, and by the 1970s it kind of died down until Lomography actually reintroduced them in 2007 as Diana F+, which actually changed everything because they changed it into a system camera where you can change lenses. The good thing about this though, you can actually use all those lenses and accessory and put it directly on top of this camera. So that means that this is actually already have a lot of different accessories you can play around with.
You say you wanna be a star, but the city is so dense and loaded. You need to cover up your scars, and it makes you feel so distant with such a disguise.
So in 2018, Lomography tried to launch this camera via the Kickstarter crowdfunding campaign, and of course it's a successful project, otherwise you wouldn't have seen it here. I was actually lucky enough to be one of the early testers to testing the prototype camera, and I was actually very, very impressed. Even though that camera I was using was a 3D printed camera, it looked nothing like this. The quality from the prints that I saw, that really impressed me. Hence, I got my hands on one of these now, and I'm very, very, much want to show you guys how capable this thing actually is. For those who are not familiar with Lomography cameras, there is nothing to shout about in terms of build quality because most of their cameras are plastic made, and even the lens itself. This is no exception. The whole thing is entirely constructed with plastic. I think the only metal components inside is the motor for the instant mechanism, and also the spring for the shutter, and some screws, and everything else is completely plastic. Nothing wrong with it, because Lomography has been making cameras like this, decades ago, and then it's been going on ever since. The good thing is, of course, it's lightweight because it doesn't weigh you anything, so you can actually carry around all day without even feeling it. The downside, of course, if you drop it, you might crack the body, and it might still work, but it's just not very aesthetically pleasing after all. So how does does this thing actually perform imaging wise? Well, actually it's a very, very difficult thing to say because it depends on what lens you throw on it. The standard lens you get with this camera is the 75mm plastic lens, so it's actually quite soft by default, and if you put in a film in there, is take a shot with the standard kit lens that it comes with, it will see significant vignetting around corners and it's not very, very nice. But if you throw in the premium glass lens, which you can also get for the Diana system, that lens is super sharp, just like any glass lenses that Lomography actually have. It's premium, it's nice, it's just contrasty, punchy, still got a little bit of vignetting because that's kind of the Lomography signature thing. And also the other lens I really enjoy and like using is this one here on this body is the fisheye lens. I'm totally in love with the fisheye because, you know, when you buy a Diana camera, it's all about fun, and this thing will give you that fun factor by far. It's circular, full frame fisheye lens, and it's just awesome. You can take some sort of dramatic kind of cool thing when people jumping in the air and things like that. It's really, really cool. I did mention this camera was constructed with plastic. Of course, one of the benefits of having plastic construction is weight saving, and in fact this thing is so lightweight you don't feel anything, so you can walk around all day without feeling tight or aching anywhere in your body. And it also comes with two strap lugs, so you can actually have your favorite kind of cool retro looking strap around your body, and then yeah, it will look quite handsome actually, or pretty if you like. I like it, you know, I don't have any complaint about handling. It's pretty awesome. It has that traditional kind of camera feel to it. I do, however, have a little bit of a issue in terms of operation, because let me tell you that is this little shutter button here, or yeah, whatever you call these things, to control the shutter, of course, is that when the camera is powered off, okay, this thing still works. So like, you have to be extremely careful about handling your camera, simply because when you click that thing, it will still open the shutter. That means your instant film will be exposed to light with even when your camera is switched off. So you have to be very, very careful about that. I wish they would have some sort of like a shutter lock, so it locks the shutters, you won't accidentally click it and expose your film without noticing it. So this is only kind of my complaint, and like any other Lomography camera, most of them are zone focus only, so there is no autofocus, or in fact there's not even any kind of focusing aid for you to make sure that you got the precise focusing. But if you're familiar with zone focus, this is actually a pretty cool camera to handle and use. There are a few drawbacks of this camera though, however. Well, having access to all kinds of accessories that's compatible with the original Diana F Plus cameras. The downside is that, you know, none of them were actually made for this camera, and for a start, the flash, you know, the original 2-pin flash that slot into the top of the camera was slightly different to this one here, so you have to use an adapter to be able to kind of make that compatible. So and also that adapter is a little bit offset to the actual camera body, so it makes the whole thing a little bit insecure, so like any sort of knot could possibly snap the case. That's something that I didn't quite like, but you know, it does give you an option to use old accessories like the flash, for instance. So that, yeah, it's okay, it's a trade-off, but you just have to be very, very careful about that. And also about the cold shoe that they have on top of the camera here. I don't know, it's not very tight fit. No matter what viewfinder you put on it or things like that, it's a little bit wobbly, you know, and it doesn't feel very secure. And I'm actually quite worried that one day I'm going to be holding this camera and the viewfinder will just drop somewhere else and I lose it completely. Yeah, that's also another thing that I'm a little bit kind of not feel very confident about. But other than that, yeah, it's not too bad. And overall, even with those little bit of negatives, I think this is actually the best instant camera or best Lomography instant camera I've ever used. And my previous favorite was the Lomography Automat Instant Glass. That was brilliant camera. I love the wide angle and things like that. And this is just brilliant, you know, because you can use all kinds of lenses on these things, you know, you have that flexibility to have fisheyes, close-up, tele lens, and also the, you know, standard portrait stuff. This is really good. And also being instant camera using larger format like the Instant Square now is way better than the Mini, because you know, any instant photographer would tell you that larger film is always better because you can see the thing better and also give you a little bit more better quality overall. So this is my conclusion. I think it's a very, very good camera, and it's definitely worthwhile getting it. If you haven't tried instant camera, try this. You will not be disappointed, and I love this to bits. And full stop. My new favorite now.
I saw you waiting, searching for truth. Your eyes display it, your heart, it's been used. Your heart, it's been used.
I hope you enjoyed the video you just saw, and if you're an Instax fan or if you want to see more instant stuff, remember to subscribe our channel and also click on that bell button to stay notified when we have a new videos coming out. So until next time, see you then. Bye. I think is the best instant camera of anything that produced so far. The Diana F Plus Instant Square. Actually, it's no, it's actually Diana Instant. One more time. Welcome to RED35, and that obviously contributes. You know, I keep obviously 3 times. Oh man. So and obvious. Actually, I have been a long-term lomographer. Yeah, one more time. Lomography camera I've ever used. Yes, I am very, very sure. Okay, one more time. Oh gosh.